I had never been more depressed in my entire life. I didn't feel like me. It was like I was missing the part of myself that made me myself. And life is about finding things that make you happy, and in my mind, finding things that make you motivated and excited to get out of bed in the morning. I think if you can create a life for yourself that makes you excited to get out of bed, and if you're productive and if you're working hard and you're building a dream, these are things that make it really easy to get up in the morning. And all those things that motivated me so much in my life, that gave me so much like will to be alive, were just kind of gone, and it was tough. I've been gone from YouTube for a month. I took a hiatus from YouTube for a month actually, but it didn't seem like a month to you guys. So I'm here to tell the story so that the timeline of my next videos makes sense, which I must say will be some of the greatest videos we have ever uploaded, leading up to the staircase trampoline tower into the ocean. Yeah, we have some absolute bangers coming soon. So like the shit out of this video, please. You get to watch our videos for free. All we ask is you click the like button. Just click it. If you don't have a YouTube channel and you haven't subscribed, you should probably do that too. It takes 5 seconds, and it makes it to where all the content on your homepage is kind of like going to be based around the content that you already watch. So if you haven't subscribed and you don't like these videos, I don't know what you're doing. Why don't you like us? Why don't you like our content? This is a video I've been meaning to make, but I haven't been ready to relive quite possibly the most miserable 4 months of my entire life. Before I go too deep into this video, I have some medical bills, so shout out to Bang Energy and the Bang Energy CEO for fueling the dream, for keeping us hydrated, and for keeping us stoked and amped up. Bang Energy has really helped us out a lot in increasing our budget. You know, I probably wouldn't have been able to buy 14 trampolines without Bang Energy. Or I would have, but it would have been a lot harder. But yeah, recently I left Florida for a month to skim, surf, skate, enjoy myself, and overall make some of the greatest content that I think we've ever made. I really see this YouTube channel in a huge way as like our life story. So before I can show you guys all the beautiful, amazing stuff I've done since my surgery, I have to make this video first of the low points. Most YouTubers don't highlight the low points in their lives because it's not really what people want to see, but I feel as though this part of my life is extremely important. One, because I know a lot of people out there have been through the same I have, or worse, or are facing surgery and currently dealing with an injury themselves. And I can't lie, I never really understood how bad being injured can be until it holds you back from doing literally everything that you love and enjoy. Over the next 3 weeks, I will be dropping some next level content for you guys, and it's only going to get better from here. I promise you that. For now, we're going to run it back over 2 years ago to the day my life took a drastic change. We were deep in our cliff jumping obsession, and we were getting pretty good too. Controlled doubles, even triple flips, pushing heights of over 50 feet, all self-taught, no gymnastics, no coaching, no nothing like that. Just some kids in a backyard with some trampolines and a taste for adrenaline. We were truly living in the flow state, as they say, and I think we got a little too confident. At least I did. I was feeling invincible before I hurt myself. And I ended up seriously hurting myself, but I had no idea the extent of my injury until it started reoccurring over and over and over again. So we're going to fast forward 2 years. After nearly 20 to 30 dislocations, I started going to physical therapy in hopes I could strengthen my arms so I wouldn't have to get surgery. What I didn't know at that point was that my injury was far worse than I could have imagined at the time. It came down to the fact that I needed surgery if I ever wanted to be close to as healthy as I once was, which absolutely terrified me. So I went and got an MRI, which is basically like an in-depth x-ray, essentially. It showed my labrum, which is the muscle in between my rotator cuff and my shoulder bone, was torn and needed repair. My physical therapist assured me that it was the right decision. I searched for a long time to find the doctor that I felt confident with. There was a lot of suggestions and a lot of doctors to choose from, but one stood out above all, and that was Dr. Steven Mirabello. Not only has he done hundreds, if not over 1,000 shoulder surgeries, he specializes on athletes. It was a great feeling of relief to walk into his office and to see all these pictures of all these athletes all over the entire office signed off thanking him for repairing them. So that gave me some much needed confidence and reassurance. So it was decided I was going to go down for surgery. I was going to do it. I wanted to get better more than anything in the world, and I was willing to do whatever it took. So I went under, and what was supposed to be a 45-minute procedure ended up being over 2.5 hours because it was far worse than anticipated. Apparently, my labrum was not only torn, it was also dislodged from the bone entirely, which is not good, and instead of one bone anchor and one muscle anchor suture, there was 3 of each, and instead of 3 entry points, there was 7, so I have 7 scars on my arm now. So I didn't get good news upon coming back to reality. This was after the drugs wore off, of course, because I couldn't comprehend anything that was being said to me at the time.
I did it.
So the first few days were rough. My hand stayed numb for like 2 days after that because of the nerve block, and once my arm regained feeling, I started feeling the pain. So the first 2 days were pretty mellow just because I was so numb from all the drugs that they pumped in me that I couldn't feel anything. And, once you start feeling pain again, that's when you're supposed to start taking the pain pills that they give you. And I'm going to immediately come out and say, take as few of those things as you possibly can. I'm not a doctor. Don't take my advice seriously. But third day after surgery was the first day that I took the pain pills. They recommended me to take 4 a day. And on my worst day, the third day, I ended up taking 3 and had absolutely the worst night of my entire life. I think Percocet is what they had me on. Not because of pain. It was because of what it did to my mind. I woke up every 30 minutes in what seemed like a never-ending loop of just nightmares and restlessness. Sorry, talking about this is weird because I've done everything I can to push this back super far into my mind and to not think about it because of how miserable this was. It's crazy that I haven't even thought about these nights for over a month. It's like your mind is a very powerful thing, and it's crazy how it can forget about stuff and push stuff far back into your mind that you don't want to relive. Anyway, after that night, I made a very strong decision to completely go off the pain pills and to just take the pain and to feel it out and to try to heal. With that came a lot of painful, restless nights, but none nearly as bad as the first night that I was in no pain, where my mind was just in a terrible loop. I can't even explain it. It was like reliving a nightmare over and over again 500 times all night. So I started taking CBD because I refused to take those terrible painkillers, and I'd rather take something natural. The first month was brutal. I had to sleep sitting up every single night. I woke up every single day to my arm in an insane amount of pain, and it was just ridiculously sore, and I couldn't move my arm at all. I could bend my elbow, but I couldn't move my shoulder. So this was the maximum range that I had, and I had to go like this. So I would clip the thing off my sling, and I would go like this, and it would give me some relief, a little bit of relief. And doing this just absolutely makes me sick just thinking about the place that I was in and thinking about my headspace and how far I was from being myself and who I am. But it wasn't just that. I could not move my arm at all. I couldn't move my shoulder at all. I had to be super cautious while showering. I couldn't put pants on. I couldn't button my pants. I couldn't tie my shoes. I couldn't really do anything for myself that involved 2 hands. I needed help with everything. I also didn't even put a shirt on for the first 3 weeks, I'm pretty sure, just because it was too painful. So I go in for my post-op. They said it went well. A couple of weeks of miserable nights sleeping, sitting up go by. I go get my stitches out. Then finally came the time for me to get my sling off. And the only way I could possibly describe wearing that sling for that long is having the worst itch of your entire life for months and not being able to scratch it. It is the only way I could possibly articulate what it felt like not being able to move my arm for that long. The worst itch you've ever had in your life, constantly, for months at a time. And absolutely no possible way to satisfy scratching that itch. This is something that drove me absolutely insane. I'm very physically active, in case you weren't aware, and not being able to stretch or run or get cardio or do anything physical literally drove me insane. And probably made me more depressed than I've ever been in my entire life. And when I can't create the content I want and I can't do the activities that feed my soul, that make me feel alive, I don't feel like myself. And I had never been more depressed in my entire life. I didn't feel like me. It was like I was missing the part of myself that made me myself. And I know a lot of you can relate when I say my hobbies give me life. Life is about finding things that make you happy, and in my mind, finding things that make you motivated and excited to get out of bed in the morning. I think if you can create a life for yourself that makes you excited to get out of bed, and if you're productive and if you're working hard and you're building a dream, these are things that make it really easy to get up in the morning. And all those things that motivated me so much in my life, that gave me so much like will to be alive, were just kind of gone, and it was tough. And to endure months and months of that was really hard because I wasn't myself. I wasn't happy. I knew I was getting better, but I was still kind of going crazy in my own head. But as the days turn into weeks, and then weeks turn into months, and I get my sling off, and I'm finally able to start stretching again. Unfortunately, I didn't film as much of my physical therapy as I would like, especially the first 3 weeks where I had the most progress, because I was just depressed. I didn't want to film anything. For example, to get my arm to here felt like the biggest accomplishment of my entire life. And then we started moving on to put your arm up against a wall like that. To put my hand up against a wall like this, just like that. I could even use the wall to hold the weight of my arm. And I was quaking. I was trying my hardest just to put my hand on that wall because I wanted to get better so bad. But I pushed through it. And I did everything I could mentally and physically to regain my range of motion and to regain my strength. Oh, God. And, I slowly started regaining my motion. And he sent me home with exercises, and I did them every single day, multiple times a day, until I felt like I had done enough and I didn't want to hurt myself. Every f***ing day. For months, I was doing physical therapy, and I was getting better. I was getting a lot better, and I was regaining my range of motion, and the possibility of going out and surfing again was actually conceivable, and I couldn't believe it. And I went out, and I felt that I spent enough time getting better to where I thought I would be able to try to go surf. So that's what I did. Well, I've not surfed in at least 3 months, or 2.5 months, 3 months, long time. I probably shouldn't be surfing, but the fact that I can vlog with my left arm right now is pretty exciting. And the waves are by no means good. It's actually really small, but that's probably the right thing for me since I haven't surfed in a long time and I really don't want to hurt myself. The beaches are still closed, mandatory stay-at-home order, but you're allowed to exercise and paddleboard. And that means surf, so. Well, all I want really is the first clip, and then is it on record? Yeah. Yeah, Jackson! Oh, just like that, I'm surfing again. It's actually a really long 3 months and I'm dog shit. I can barely even paddle at all. That was like a one-arm paddle to one-arm pop-up. But I did it. Hopefully it just gets easier. Yes! Oh, what? No way! I can't get too excited. I don't want to hurt myself. Longest 2 months of my life. Or 3 months or whatever. Fuck yeah. Still can't really paddle. But I can paddle with my right hand. It's still pretty good. so long, and I'm not very good at it, but I am catching some waves. So that was such a huge turning point for me. I cannot even explain how happy it made me to stand up on a board and to be in the ocean and to feel like myself again. And you know, another month goes by, lots of physical therapy, still trying to take it easy, started going to the gym a lot. Thank you, Turner, so much. If Turner didn't build that gym, it would have made it a lot harder for me. So at that point, I was hungry for adventure, and I wanted waves, and I just wanted to get back out there, and I wanted to film content and be myself and be the person that you guys all know and love here on YouTube. And I wanted to keep inspiring you guys to adventure and to just progress and to just keep being awesome and adventurous. And I made the split-second decision to book a one-way ticket to Hawaii, where I would spend 14 days editing commentary that I stacked up, filming for a week before I left. So I booked my ticket for Hawaii a week out. I spent the next 7 days writing every single day. And the last 30 days were the videos that you guys have seen have been commentaries that I filmed in that week planning to go to Hawaii. So I was around 20 days ahead before I even left for Hawaii in terms of videos that were finished and that were ready to upload. So I went off the grid. I didn't post a single thing on Instagram for nearly a month. I didn't post any stories, but the YouTube videos were still uploading, so I didn't like disappear from existence online. So yeah, it was like a mental health break for a month. I went out and I quarantined for 14 days with a couple of friends that came with me. We edited a bunch. We filmed some really cool time lapses. We helped work on my friend's property that was out of town. And once the 14 days of quarantine were over, we had some plans. But it wouldn't exactly make sense if I didn't tell the story correctly. And, you know, the whole reason for me going to Hawaii when I did was because I was feeling better. And I wanted waves, and I wanted to have fun, and I wanted to create content and feel like myself. So stay tuned. The next few weeks worth of content are absolutely next level. Off the fucking chain, I promise. So subscribe. It's definitely a vase. Where is the vase? I missed the vase. Will the vase return? I'm not entirely sure. Would you guys like It's a Vase merch? Comment down below. That's up to you guys. Let's talk. If there's enough It's a Vase comments, I will make a vase shirt. Love you guys. Thank you so much. You're the best. Bang energy.
See, rolling around, sitting on dubs, count my hours high on trucks, cooling in my Escalade. Man, I'm paid, I got it made. Take me to your special place. Close your eyes, show me your face. I'm gonna piss on it. Others wanna love. I don't even want none of the above. I want to piss on you.